pacing back and forth. Oh, I don't understand why you're standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall and we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in. Just me, just you, lost in the moment.
Well, hi guys, it's Karen. If you're new here, hello. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. I am Beauty Over 40. That is what we were talking about today. We are going to go through pretty much my full routine, okay? And I really hope that this is something that you will benefit from as I show you everything from starting with no makeup, no brows done, and working my way up to this here. I am 42 years old. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video. Like I said, I do hope that you will gain something from this video, and let me know down in the comments below. And if you're new, please say hi. I love it when you do. I love to get to know each one of you and to read your comments. And guys, I've got so many tips for you. You might want to get a pad and paper. No, for real. I mean, like, I'm being serious. All right, guys, so we're going to get straight into this video. Grab a snack, grab a cigarette if you need to. Oh, where's mine? Did I lose my cigarette within my brushes? I don't know, guys, but I had some coffee and all that, and let's get to it. Okay, everyone, so you wanted skincare. Now we're going to go through my routine before I put on makeup. The first things I want to check, guys, if you don't have a 10 times magnification mirror, that is something you might want to invest in, okay? Because the clearer you can see your skin, you know how to take care of it, and you can get products to achieve that as flawless as you possibly can. Because there are some things that get in the way of makeup, and you know, hair, and you got to groom, and pores and all that stuff. And I know, I sympathize with you. It can get scary. When you flip that mirror over, you're like, ah! But it tells me if my skin is too dry, if I've got to groom my brows, if I have any fuzzies, anything like that. And right now, my skin is telling me I need to exfoliate. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will be back. This feels so much better. I pulled out my heavy duty Neutrogena microdermabrasion $20 tool that I've used almost forever now. I've got it at Walgreens. I'll put a link in here in case you want it. Anyhow, it's got that scrub pad. We're exfoliated. I got a few Q-tips because I still have a little bit of glue. Guys, Beauty Over 40 is different. Here's what we need. Makeup remover. This is going to be a bunch of how-tos here, okay? I'm going to be pulling out my tweezers and checking my brows to see if there's any straight hairs. And I happen to have one like right here. Then I've got some eyelash glue right here. So the way that I'm going to take these things and fix them is I'm going to dip my Q-tip in my makeup remover. Now I do use makeup wipes, but I have to get the glue off of my lid before I can put on any more shadow. And this can be tricky. So you want to wet one side of the Q-tip, and then you want to take the other side. And with mature eyelids, it's even more tricky because they move. So sometimes you want to hold the skin and it'll pick up if you turn the Q-tip. Yes. And then you can take this and put it underneath, but I still have some in these lashes, and the only way to get them through is to turn this. Watch it come off. Yes, thank goodness. You see it? that is how we do this. And I know you guys had asked about that. And then I take a dry Q-tip and I just make sure there's nothing else here. And I go on to the next one, which you can see I have glue right there. Be as gentle as you can. That's why I use the Q-tip to my advantage. And once it's gotten dirty. Good, you can talk, Karen. I think I need more coffee. Thank goodness I have it sitting next to me. You can go ahead and get rid of it. Just throw it out so you don't replace it on your eyes. And get the glue back on it. And now I have one completely clean eye. So let me do the other one and then we'll move on to the next tip. Ready for the next thing? A toner. Usually I like one with cucumber in it, and this one has cucumber in it. This is Herbal Dynamics Beauty Clean and Calm. Cucumber and Blue Lotus Micellar Water. And I grabbed one of these pads. Okay. And we're still at 10 times magnification, so we're going to see everything. This is just going to ensure I've cleaned my face properly. I can get a little bit into my pores. It'll calm anything down as well. That's what cucumber does. That's what aloe does too, but a lot are allergic to aloe. So go with cucumber only if you're allergic to aloe. My face is a little bit red, and that's because I exfoliated it. There's very little on my pad, which means I did very good. And now I'm going to take the time to remove any stray hairs. Now, I know it's real popular shaving the face. Here's the thing with that. Now, I have never experienced when I take off fuzzies anything growing back darker. I've never experienced that. I do have a few little hairs here and there. If there's anything that is black, you want to remove it with a tweezer, okay? And if there are fuzzies, then you can take one of these guys, and even where there's not hair, it'll remove skin, like dead skin. But like, let me explain something to you. We usually do get fuzzies right around our brows. And just taking one of these really cheap razors, you can go ahead and get those little fuzzies. And like I said, it'll take off the dead skin too. And I don't have to worry about my forehead, you know, turning up with black hair. It doesn't happen, okay? So I'm going to just gently go over where I see white fuzzies anywhere on my face. That's the next tip. Go ahead and do it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so once you've gotten rid of the fuzzies, now I'm taking a look at my brows, and I want to see if I want to trim them. And invest in quality tweezers and scissors because it's super important. I want to take, you can use a spoolie to do this. I've got one right here. This is how I groom my brows. And I'm still doing 10 times magnification, just letting you know. Okay, I'm going to take them and brush them in the opposite direction. Then I'm going to see what's sticking up. And I'm going to trim what is sticking up.
Get to work. Mission no zombies.
Yes, that is exactly how I groom, look at that, my brows. And this also helps too. You can use brow gel, but I'll tell you what, when your brows are too long, it is very difficult to put product and to get things the way that you want them. And these ones are kind of sticking up just a little bit. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to flip this over. If you have any dryness from using that razor, go ahead with your toner one more time because it'll help remove any dead skin. And you want to make sure your face is as clean as you can get it. And don't forget about your neck. Super, super important. If your skin is dry, go in with a hydrating toner spray after you've done this. And what else? What was I going to say? Or, now you know you have to, well, I use primer, especially if you have large pores, okay? But before I put on primer, I want to make sure I've got some type of anti-aging product on. And I always like to, since I will get acne occasionally, I always use something that has tea tree oil in it. So these are called treatments. We need to treat our skin. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of this gel. If you don't have access to a gel with tea tree oil in it, you can get the actual bottle of tea tree oil, essential oil, and you can use that. And if you have an outbreak, use that because it's got a naturally bacteria fighting agent in it. That's what tea tree oil is. Okay, so now that I've put this tea tree oil on, I've let it soak into my skin. It soaks in fast. I've got this 111 Skin Pollution Defense Booster, anti-pollution. And what I'm gonna do is just take a tiny, tiny bit of this, and I want an eye cream. That's like a moisture. Usually I have an eye cream available. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Just put a little of this serum on. If I do see an eye cream, I will use it. It does help if you're gonna use concealer and stuff. Jackson, stop! Okay. Got a bunch of things obviously over here. Okay, so we're gonna skip. This is what the tea tree oil looks like, by the way. And you can get it for like $5.99 at Walmart. It's in their pharmacy section. Okay, so now I want to be able to apply my primer, and I need my damp beauty blender because I'm getting ready to do foundation and stuff. I do have some larger pores, and some of you might have pores from old acne scarring, or just you're prone to that, whichever. You want a pore filling primer, but you don't want to use so much. The two that I like are the Porefessional, the Benefit, and the Tarte Timeless. They are thick, okay? And this one is not as thick, but it's still thick. If I can zoom in on that. And what I want to do with this, and you can go back to 10 times magnification, because it'll show you how to do this. Oh, okay, I see little pores right here. And I want to dab it in with my fingers. And sometimes you're going to want to put it in a specific direction, because pores are not these perfect little circles. They're just not. And you'll see that, especially with textured skin. If you have textured skin, get the hair off. That's my recommendation. And get a pore filling primer, because it's going to make all the difference in the application of your foundation, which is the most important thing before you get to everything else. Okay, so I put like a half a dime size amount on my face. Okay, I'm going to show you how thick this Tarte stuff is. It's expensive, but it is super thick, and obviously I've used it. Okay, and what I'm going to do with this is, because I like to have the perfect brow, and I've got little pores right here that drive me insane. So I kind of put this right on and under my brow. Not for eyeshadow, but to fill in those pores. When I get ready to do my brows, it's nice and smoothed out. Now I'm just going to look to see if there's any part on my face I need to treat with anything else. Color corrector maybe, if I had a pimple or something like that. My face is a little red, but that's because of all the exfoliation right now. So I'm not worried about that, because my foundation will cover it and it's going to subside anyway. But okay, now we are ready for our foundation. I am going to use probably 2 because I haven't been tanning. I am a neutral, so I go with Lancome. This is a $47 foundation, but I love it, and it's totally worth it to me. So I have got, and we'll put some on the back of my hand. I've got the 260 Bisque Neutral and the 420 Bisque Neutral. And what I'm gonna do, can you see the difference in the color? Is I'm going to mix them so I can have the right shade match. And now for this, I'm going to go back to regular magnification. I put some on, and we're going to press it into the skin. And then we are going to make sure our face is not drying out anywhere, because that's going to lead to textured skin and cake face ultimately, and that would not be something that you want. Okay, I definitely need more foundation. Sometimes I put on 2 coats of foundation. I'm really running out of this one. Let's just get some on there real quick. And then get some of this on here real quick. You guys know how to apply foundation. I could actually do this off camera and then be right back, right? I'll be right back. I'm gonna cover everything. Okay, so now for brows, you've got options. You have pomade. This one here is Anastasia, and it is in caramel. It's the Dip Brow Pomade. If you are going to use this, you need the finest, thinnest looking angled brush there is, so it does not apply thick. And you're going to have to learn the technique to do it. This is an IT Cosmetics. I love the Eco Tools brushes as well. You guys have seen that. If you've watched my videos before, I constantly use that brush. Okay, you always want to have a makeup wipe out, because at any time you may have to wipe off the color, especially if you make a mistake, or because the pomade is thicker, you want to immediately clean this brush so it does not build up on the brush. Okay, so now I've got my pomade, and you always want to have a pencil. We always need a good pencil. This is the Benefit Precise My Brow Pencil, and it is in the number 4. Okay, so these are the 2 products that I'm going to use. I'm going to take my spoolie, and I'm going to comb my brow a little bit up. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need to see where I need to fill in. Okay, your brows should start here and end here. It's taken me a while. I had 90s brows to go ahead and get where I'm at now. But I still have it where it comes down too far, and I've got to get rid of some of that there. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to start with the pomade, and I'm going to start at the back end of my brow, the tail. I'm really just coating each side and wiping off the excess. I hope you guys can see that. Okay. And then what I'm doing is, you want to keep your elbow steady. I'm just coating right at the tail where my hair begins and moving over to the middle. That is what I'm doing. I don't use or do harsh lines, and the more you practice this, the better you'll get at it. Now, if you want to, you can also comb down your brow and go back in. My arch is right about here, and just pull that down and then start to fill in where there's missing hair. I like a nice natural looking brow. And that's basically what I'm doing right here, is really filling in where I need to. And then of course, I'm going to take this, go in the direction of my brow, and then I follow up with a pencil. And I always do hair-like strokes. And if I feel like I need to line something, or the hairs don't always go in the direction that you want them to, so instead of me actually just doing a line, I kind of just fill this in here, and then I'll gently pull it back So this way it's not so harsh. And then you always want to comb through it. And then you have the option to use brow gel and also to clean it up with concealer. Now I've got a little bit of hair right here, so I'm going to coat that. Soft like strokes. Okay, now because I've done that, I'm going to take a clear brow gel and just make sure everything is where it should be. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm done with this brow, because I'll probably put some type of concealer there just to outline a little bit, so this way the brow looks more defined. But let me do the other brow off camera and I will be right back. Okay, so brows are finished with this part. Now I did the gel on both sides. Now because I usually use 2 pencils, a 3.5 Benefit and then a 4, and because it's really hard to find a brow product, you always want to go a little bit lighter, but I have a hard time doing that with my brows, going lighter, so sometimes I end up going the exact color, which makes them look real dark. So what you can do is you put the gel on them, take a spoolie and roll it in some powder. Just roll it in a setting powder and lighten up the front of the brow. This way your brows don't look so dark. And it's gonna stick because you have the gel there. So now I have a tad bit lighter in the front, which is where I wanted it, than the back, which should be a little bit darker. The tail end should always be a little bit darker. Okay, so now we want to focus on primer for the eyes. I hope the camera picked that up. I'll try to zoom in as much as I can. All right, let's set this to the side. I haven't even figured out what palette I want to use today. Okay, I'm putting on tape to save some time, and I have to make sure that because I have mature eyelids, my skin is not as tight as what it used to be. I made sure my eye was relaxed and I pressed down the tape. Now I've got to make sure that they are symmetrical. And it looks like I might have to fix this one just a little bit. There we go. Whoa. There we are. Now this is going to prevent the eyeshadow from going all over the place. It'll help you do things a little bit quicker. If you want to do a wing, go ahead, you can. I am going to just grab a Farrah brush and use some MAC Paint Pot real quick. And I'm going to put that all over my eye. I decided not to line my brow with concealer today. So now that I've got MAC Paint Pot on, I can start putting on my eyeshadow. This one here is in Bare Study. We're going to use the Madison Beer palette. I think I've used this twice. Yes, I did. If you haven't seen it, here it is here. It's beautiful. I think it was like a $22 palette, I believe. And I've got my brush here that I just used with the concealer. I'm not going, or not concealer, the MAC Paint Pot. I don't need to set my MAC Paint Pot. So now I've got my tons of brushes over here, and I want to go in with a blending brush, or you can use a brush like this to sweep a transition shade over the eye. Actually, we'll use this one. This is a Morphe brush, And what I'm going to do is just take this white in here and gently sweep it over my eye. Okay. Ooh, yay. Make sure my tape is good still. I love using masking tape over any other tape because it works just so much better. And I love these brushes. Okay, they pick up the color so well. All right, so now that we've done that, we want to figure out what kind of look we want to do today. And we could use this brush again, but I kind of want to focus on my crease. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab not a real fluffy brush, something that has control. And what I mean by that is this, well, this one actually has control. Where's one that doesn't? Aha! All right, no wait, that's the wrong one. This one. This one has very little control. So I'd be like, and it would probably get everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with something like this that's got more control. And then I'm gonna take, let me see. Let's go in with this gorgeous color down here. I'll put the colors on the screen, but I'm gonna start in the middle because that's where I want the most pigment. And then I'm going to get right in my crease because what I want to do is make my eye look as big as I can. I have hooded eyes and I also have mature eyes. So how you use your brushes, your technique is everything. It's everything. Now this over here, it's going to do this. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Really what we're doing is blending out the crease right now. And we're going to do that and make sure there's no separation in pigment where you put it. And once you've done that, let me catch up with the other eye and then we'll move on. Moving onward, going back with the same brush and some setting spray, I'm going to go into a shimmer that is basically the same color that I just put down, but I want to put this on the outer part. And I really want it to stick out. So we're going to put a little bit in the crease here. That's going to help define the eye. And we are going to blend it out using this brush and the tape. See how that kind of changed things? There is my crease. I actually went above my crease a little bit and you're going to see that, but that's because I want to make my eye look bigger. So now I'm going to go back in and do the same thing with the other eye. And sometimes you may have to hold your skin a little bit with mature lids, ladies. Nothing wrong with that. Don't let it wander all around. Okay, we're gonna have to let this dry and then we will go and we will blend up here. And then we'll move on to another color. Whew, I'm loving it. Okay, actually that's pretty dry. So what I want to do, this is like the master brush of all blending. This is the Jaclyn Hill JH30. And really, this baby blends like a dream. It's just, it's fluffy and soft, but it has control. You ever use a brush and wonder why like the eyeshadow's all over the place? It's because the brush didn't have any control. It just wasn't a good brush or wasn't the right type of brush for what you're doing. Boy, I feel like a serious teacher today. Okay, so now that I have blended this out, what I am going to do is I'm going to take another type of blending brush, but it's more straight, and I'm going to either go back into that, you know what, this tannish kind of color over here. I want to put that at the edge just to soften things up. Just right at that edge. No setting spray required for this part. Just soften, soften. Perfect. Okay, so now going into, we need flat brushes. Luxie brushes are some of the best ones, or brushes like this. This is a Morphe brush. What I want to do is I want to focus on my lid here, okay? And I could do a cut crease, and that would probably be amazing right now. And a cut crease for mature eyes is different, definitely. When I'm just looking around for my concealers here, I'm like, oh. I still have to finish doing my other video of my collection. Okay, I'm not a big fan of ColourPop concealer. I do like the e.l.f. concealer. And I also like Smashbox and Jeffree Star. And I know I've got a concealer around here somewhere. Where's my concealer? We'll use Smashbox. And yes, I'm going to put it right here. And the reason that I am putting this on is because I want a clean canvas for this new color. I don't want it to mix. And I have to start right in my crease. And I've got to define that line a few times because my eyes, like I said, mature lids, baby. You know what that's all about. And then it's going to start to get color on it. So you're going to need that makeup wipe. And you don't need a lot of concealer. Sometimes I use too much. But really I'm doing like a half kind of cut crease. So it's totally okay. You want to make sure the line is nice. Okay. Ooh, my eyes are looking bigger. Alright, now I'm wiping that brush off. I'm laying it down. I can go in with a smaller brush since I have small lids. And I want to put setting spray on it because I'm using a shimmer. And, oof, which shimmer do I want? You know, I haven't tried this one yet.
Happy birthday.
So, this brush is way too stiff for this. You don't want a loose one, but you don't want a stiff one either. There we go. So I am going to put this on and build it up, and then I will be back. Okay, another tip. So once you have laid that color down, if it starts to bunch up for any reason, you want to take, I just took the other side of this brush, and I actually changed brushes too. I went in with the Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill JH41 to apply it, and I just went over it like this until it smoothed everything out. And now what I want to do is figure out how I'm going to blend this together. And I usually like to use a darker shimmer to do that. So I'm going to pick one and I'll be right back. Okay, I've chosen one. And I think this one would do best. Now, adding it over here so we can slowly work it in right in this area here. Oof, I like. Make sure to use that brush in that crease. Always. And then we can go back in on the other side of this brush with the color that we put here and blend that out. Perfect. We're going to let it dry and then we're going to do some liner. Okay guys, it's dry right there. Now, doing a wing with mature lids, you need this brush. It's the Eco Tools. Look at how, let me see. I don't know if you can see how thin this is or not, but it's so precise. Make sure your makeup wipe is here. You don't want to use liquid liner just yet. This is Maybelline Eye Studio in like jet black, I think. And what we're going to do is we're going to dip it in here and coat each side and wipe it off. Okay? Then we're going to steady our hand. And we're going to use our tape. And we're going to create a line. And I would advise you, if you need to, hold your eye. And just pull that back. The excess is going to get on the tape. You do not need to worry about that. Relax your eye. Make sure that line is there. And you can use gel liner to finish this if you want. But the important thing is not letting the gel liner stick on this brush. Okay? You've got to wipe it off. Otherwise, you're going to end up buying new brushes. I've had this brush for a while now, so we're good. I want to do the same thing that I did there over here. And you can even do the little arch thing if you want over here. But now I've got my line set. I'm putting away Maybelline. I'm taking the excess off of this brush. You've got to. And then I'm going to go in with my liquid liner. I've switched things up a bit. If you've seen my videos, you see how I'm in a different corner now and stuff. I want my liquid liner. And I love the Hank & Henry because the flexible tip, but where I've been using the Tarte. Where are you, Tarte? And I'm not sure where it's at, so I'll be back. Alright, I can't find Tarte, so I'm going to use this brand, and I always mispronounce it, so I'm just going to show you. And it's got the marker tip. So, go over your line. Okay, and then do a really thin line here. Always store these down so they don't dry out as quickly and you get the pigment right away instead of having to wait and then go over it several times. Okay. So really what right now we're doing is just lining right above and on that lash line. Do not try to do this in one swipe. Change the angle if you need to. Guys, you always have to have patience for makeup. Okay. And because they're shimmers, you're going to have to go over it more than once. I mean, we spent time and effort blending there, so there's quite the bit of shadow on here. I like to bring it down. Now, let's make sure this is as black as it can be. Oh, my Kayla. And what we're going to do, relax our eyes. Make that line connect with the wing. So it's going to thicken up your line. And you want to make sure it does so where it needs to. Woohoo! We have a wing. And at this point, you can take your tape away. Actually, I want this a little bit darker and up a little bit higher. Now, do you have your under eye concealer? Because this is where you're going to need it. Get your under eye concealer out, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I just took off the tape. And I'm checking my wing, and this one's a tad bit thicker than this one. So what I'm going to do is grab my liner again. Where are you? I think I put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, here we go. And I am just going to make this right here. There we are. And I actually made this part a little bit thicker too, so I'm going to go ahead gently, like soft, tiny strokes here so we don't mess everything up. Okay, now I've got my dose of colors. This is a shade lighter than the foundation on my skin. Oh, This is why I wear t-shirts, because I get stuff flicking these things apart. All right, I pull it down a little bit. And what I do is before I take my brush, I want some kind of, almost like a foundation kind of brush or an angled brush, but I want to show you what I'm talking about here. One like this. This is a Morphe brush. Can you see it? We're going to start over here. And then we want to go right up and pull it down. So this way, we've got an extra sharp line that I just went ahead and stuck the tip in. I'm going to fix that in a second. But I've got the fan on, so I want to hurry up and do this. Okay, now make sure it's as beautiful as I can get it. Okay, give me my eyeliner real quick. I went over my tiny little tip right here, so I just kind of want to dab it in. Now I want to use setting powder. We need setting powder to set this. Making sure my wing is good. It looks like to me this needs to be, you can always do fine detailing. Always, 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 always. Because that one just looked a little more rounded to me. See how I hold my eye when I do this? Okay. Yeah, it looks a little different. So I need to just bring it out a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now I'm excited. I am going to, my hair is going to get in the way. Take my brush and make sure that this is as sharp as I can get it. Watch how I do it. Okay, and then we need like a really veil kind of setting powder, which I like Hourglass for, or Laura Mercier. I'm not sure where I put Hourglass. So let's go, same brush is fine. We don't need that much powder. Ooh, get some on my palette, darn it. And with mature lids, you don't want to put too much powder. You don't want it to settle in your fine lines. And you'll be like, no! Okay. So now that we've got that, I want to put some gel liner. Kona, hush! Oh, no wonder why. I was going through my lip liners looking for an eyeliner. Ah, Karen, duh. Okay. I've got this Bodyography. Oh, this one is one of those hard pencils. And it's right here, so I'm going to use it. But I really do like the gel. Actually, this is not really pigmented at all, so we're going to just not even bother with that. And we're going to go over to the Urban Decay 24/7. See, ooh, this needs to be, whew, it's kind of pointy here. Let's sharpen it. All right, much better. Okay. Look at the difference in pigment. Like, hello. Oh, I love black liner. And then we're gonna do the under eye, of course. Okay. All right. Let's go in with our shadow. She's got a black in here, so we can use that. And we can even tight line if we want to, which means we need a stiffy. You you guys know, that's what I call the eyeliner smudge brushes, stiffies. Because if you're not used to doing this underneath the eye, you're going to want to stamp it in. Use setting spray, wait for it to dry, and then blend. And you always want to make sure it connects to your wing. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to need a crease brush. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, grab your inner corner highlight brush or your Luxie mini round brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill inner corner highlight. It's the JH39. I'm going to go in with this light color here and put that on my inner corner. And I might need a little more setting spray. I really like the inner corner to pop. It helps make the eye look bigger too. And what I've been doing is kind of swooping it up and kind of swooping it a little bit over. So everything looks like it belongs together. Oh, Kayla, what's the matter? You're eating, right? You said you? Okay. Now this I sometimes use to highlight my brow bone. But there's also a flat brush. What's happening with her?
I'm taking her out of her high chair.
Is she still wanting to eat? Is that why she's crying?
I just gave her everything you told me to give her.
You gave her the cauliflower?
Yes, and I gave her the eggs.
And she ate it all? Did she eat it herself or do you feed her?
She ate it herself. And I watched it.
Okay. Now we need... I would give her a shake. A flat brush. Okay, I'm going to take that same color I put here, and I'm using a flat Morphe brush, and I'm doing my brow bone highlight. And I'm just going right below the arch right here, just to give it a little oomph. There we go. What a pretty color. You can take it down if you feel like it. Wow. All right. So I need to smoke it out. Durr, I'm looking at the bottom going, oh my gosh. All right. So we need like a semi-stick kind of brush. Something like this. This is the Morphe Eye Slay collection. You just want to use the tip. Back and forth. This way it looks blended and it doesn't look like you just stuck color there. And you could add another color if you wanted to. I'm sticking with black today. There we are, much better. And see, look at the brush where the color's at. Just used that tip. It was all I did. All right, let me do some mascara and lashes. Because this video is probably really, really long. Actually, you know what? We'll do it all so you guys can see. Kevin, Icon, I think this is mascara. I sometimes do not put mascara on before I do my lashes. It just depends. My lashes go every which direction and straight because I wear falsies all the time. Now, bottom. I have a trick for this. I always do 2 coats on the bottom, and if I get anything on my face, I wait till it dries and then flick it off with a Q-tip. Okay, so now if you end up with too much mascara down here, or if your lashes are just straight, here is what I do. I grab a spoolie, I go underneath the lash, and I comb it out. I just turn it, and it makes your lashes nice and rounded. Just like that. Now, I did get a tiny bit of mascara here, but me even using this comb just got rid of it. So we're good. Now I need to choose some lashes. Okay, this is where I started to get dressed because if I've made a mess with makeup, my t-shirt has absorbed it. And I want to reuse some lashes, so I've got to take the glue off of these. I put in my nose stud, and we're going to apply lashes, and then we're going to do well, maybe a little bit of contouring. Gosh, eyelashes make such a difference. And the reason I'm going through everything step by step is because not every one of you gets the chance to watch every one of my videos all the way through, and maybe this is one that you'll sit down and be able to have all of your questions answered. Cable's happy now. Okay, see, I took all the glue off of that. See the glue on this one? When you reuse, you've got to take the glue off. Otherwise, you're putting glue on top of glue, and then guess what? They're not going to stay very well. You do want to be careful with it, though, because if they're cheap eyelashes, they will fall apart. If it is your first time wearing lashes, you want to go with wispies because they do not have a thick band. And you don't have to worry about your eyeliner being thick enough because you don't want to see that band. All right, hang on. Let me show you this. Get this off of here. These are wispies. Look at that band. It's barely there. Now look at this one. You want to make sure that you have eyeliner on, and that's where you're putting your eyelash. I like to use tweezers. Sometimes they give you little metal pieces or plastic pieces to put these on. My glue, my eyelash glue. Where are you, eyelash glue? I know, here you are. It's the Igloo, the Kiss Igloo, I think it is, lash adhesive. I am going to coat this, and I'm going to make sure on each end has a little bit more, because that's where it would have the tendency to lift. Now, I've already cut these lashes, but you do have to measure them, okay? And you don't want to put them on until, see, this is not a great, what do you call it, tweezer for this. I need a regular tweezer. The glue will start to dry and it'll change colors a little bit, and that's when you're ready to put it on. Decided to go with some bigger hoops today. What do you guys think? Okay, it's drying real quick because I'm underneath a fan. So I start in the middle, and I place this baby down, and then I gently pull this over, and I hold this for about 20 seconds. And then usually this one pops up, so I'll go down and hold that. And then what I will do is press it in like that, making sure it's pressed down and it's staying. Woo! See the difference? Okay, I'm gonna do the other one off camera and I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're gonna do a little bit of contouring, and I'm gonna use this e.l.f. brush right here. And I'm gonna go into a Huda color, okay? And right where my ear is, I'm going to kind of, tiny bit, the top of my ear, pull it out a little bit. And this brush is still a little bit wet because I just cleaned all my brushes. Now, before I blend that, do you hear Kayla? She's so much happier now. I am going to choose my blush. And I'm going to show you how to blend those together. Okay. The blush that I'm going to be using is a Tarte blush. It's called Feisty. This is it here. I'm going to use a regular Eco Tools powder brush. It's like a little different, but smile. Apply it and pull it back. Okay, you're not done though. You're not done yet. Wow, with that being wet, still a little damp, it really, whoo, which just means extra blending is what it means. Okay, apple of the cheek and back and back and back. And you can still see the line. So here's what I have to do to fix that. Do I have a powder brush that's completely dry? Oh, yes, I do. Thank goodness. Okay, now, what do I want for powder? Do I want to do, I really do like the Laura Mercier. So here's what we're going to do. Start up here. Put powder right there. Everywhere. And now we've got to get rid of that line. So I need to find... This one's still a little wet. Alright. This one here, an angled brush. And wiggle it right here. You might want to wait till your brushes are dry next time, you know? But you can blend it out. I mean, stuff happens. It just takes a little extra time. You can also lighten it up with powder if you need to. Kat Von D, translucent powder is actually white, so you can always use that. And then you want to check your makeup in natural lighting, which I've already done, but I'm going to want to do that after I continue to blend this here. And that side's blended. This side might need a little more help. Okay. I think we're good. I want to choose a lip color now. We're good with the eyelashes, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's choose a lip liner. What do I want to go with? I really like Gerard lip liners. This one I think is Ecstasy, and I love it. Oof. You can fill it in if you really like the color, or you can just add a lip. I think I'm just going to fill it in. No, this one is underground. I'm sorry. What a pretty color. And you know it's going to stay on too. So the only thing you really need to do is add a gloss. And it can be any gloss you want. How about Madison Beer lip gloss? Since we used her palette, let's use this one in Saturn. Perfect. Highlight. I didn't forget. I'm going to take this. No, actually, I don't think I need to take that with me. Okay, highlight. Of course, I have to drop something. It's usually what happens. Okay, so let's go in with Jeffree Star's 24 Karat. Yes. And we'll use one of Jaclyn Hill's highlight. Actually, should we do Jaclyn's highlight? Nah, we'll use Sarcophagus. Put a little bit on here. Woo! Okay. And mind you, I already did the setting spray, so it's going to pop even more. Ooh, I have an itch. And we are good to go. Guys, this was such a long video. If you've stuck it out this far, I am so proud of you. And you need to tell me down in the comments below what you've learned and if this video has helped you. I do love every single one of you so very much. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't joined the channel, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and then you'll get notified when I do more makeup looks. I do makeup tutorials, I do hauls. This is actually a fashion top. I've actually gotten into that too, and any type of request that you'd like. Guys, thanks again. I'll see you real soon in another video. Bye.